At 3:14 in the morning, I opened the hatch under the lamp room because something was climbing the iron ladder inside the column. Slow, deliberate, hand, foot, hand, foot. I had dogged that hatch shut myself. There was no other way into that shaft. The climbing stopped directly beneath my boots. Then my work phone buzzed with a new message from the station account. It read, "He is almost at your hands." Eli, you told me if the isolation started sanding my brain down to write someone. So here we are. Blackglass light, 6 miles off open water, concrete caisson, 1 chipped helipad, rotating contract, 14 on and 14 off. I took it because the pay is stupid, and because I was done watching permit maps go gray in a traffic office. Handover was fast. Doran, the outgoing keeper, smelled like diesel and stewed tea, and wouldn't look at the sea gate once while he walked me through the cistern gauge and the generator hours. He said one thing twice: don't answer station email after midnight. I laughed. He didn't. On the radio room desk sat a second monitor, unplugged, turned to face the wall. Under it, a coffee ring had dried into the varnish, black and perfectly round, like a halo scorched into the wood. I opened the station laptop to log my arrival. There was already one drafted message sitting in the outbox, time-stamped an hour before the boat brought me out. First night was routine. Wind southwest, force 5, visibility gone by 9. I don't know how to describe how much a lighthouse sweats. The gallery glass, the pipe joints, even the spare life rings in the passage have this tacky, damp glaze, like they've all been breathed on. After dinner, I opened the shared account for weather traffic and found a folder named Drafts. 187 unsent messages, all from the station account, addressed to itself. Most blank, a few one-liners, not on the stairs, keep him talking. You are not the first voice in here. I told myself Doran used the inbox like scratch paper and left it alone. I didn't answer any of them. I made coffee instead and decided that satisfied the whole rule. At 007, the laptop chimed anyway. New message, no subject, no reply needed for it to arrive on its own. Do not let it stand in the lens room, facing the sea. I didn't go up right away. I'm not proud of that. I sat with the mug until 3 knocks hit the outer gallery door above me. Wrong rhythm for wind, wrong weight for a wave. 3, evenly spaced, like knuckles on glass. I took the mag light up the cast iron stair, open back so you can look straight down the column to the service floor. Halfway up, I caught myself doing exactly that, and had the distinct, stupid sense that something below was climbing at the same pace. One turn behind, matching my footfalls so closely I couldn't tell the two sounds apart. The lamp room was empty. The lens turned smooth and silent. The gallery door dogs were still set from inside. Nobody could have been standing out there. But on the grating just past the threshold, there was a wet print. Bare, long-toed, narrow at the heel like a child's foot stretched over an adult's bones. The water inside it was pink. I told myself the pink was rust bleed off the grating, and hated how easily I believed it. At noon, with enough signal to reach you, I went digging in the old mail instead. 7 months back, a keeper named Mark Venn started sending himself messages at strange hours. No punctuation. Heard walking in the wall shaft. Something at gallery glass. No boat near. Why is my spare set wet? Then one final message to operations, marked urgent, requesting immediate relief from an intruder on station. Operations wrote back 40 minutes later asking him to clarify, because the access log showed the supply boat had already collected him at 06:10 that morning. He'd missed his radio checks. His key card was left on the desk. His oilskins were still hanging by the boiler. Nobody was ever found. At 18:22, the station account sent me one line. Mark says, don't use his bunk. 4 bunks in the crew quarters. I'd taken the one by the heater for the dry socks. Bunk 3 was already stripped and remade, blanket folded at the foot, hospital neat. That bothered me more than mess would have. I checked it with the flashlight anyway. The mattress held a fresh shape, shoulder, hip, heels, not the flattened sag of years. but something that had lain there recently. The blanket at the foot was soaked through, and not with seawater. It smelled the way a cut smells, coppery, close. I moved my pillow to the radio room and called it practical. At 23:51, the fog siren gave one long blast. That system has no compressor. It hasn't run in years. A second blast answered it from outside, low enough to sit in my ribs. Then the laptop chimed. Don't answer if he uses my voice. A moment later from the stairwell, in my own exact voice, unhurried, patient. Eli, could you come give me a hand with this? I locked the radio room and sat with the flare gun like that was a plan. The voice came again, closer, almost amused, hitting the same clipped cadence I use when I trail off mid-sentence. When it stopped, I heard something underneath it. Metal, ringing softly, a chain tapping concrete, low and rhythmic. There's a service hatch off the store's passage that drops into the tower's base. Cable runs and dead fog signal hardware nobody's touched in years. I hadn't opened it since arriving. At 0110, with the wind finally dropping, that tapping was unmistakably coming from down there. The seal peeled loose with a wet sucking sound. My flashlight found a ladder into a round chamber slick with condensation, brass valves gone green, a stanchion bolted to the floor, and a length of chain fixed to it. The end of the chain held a cuff, leather-lined, wrist-sized. Beside it, a mug furred gray with mold, and a small, careful stack of fish bones, cleaned white as needles. I came up too fast and split my shin on the ladder rung. I sent 3 emails to operations and 1 to you with photos attached, but the signal wheel just spun. No confirmation, nothing going anywhere. The sea outside had gone flat and gray as tin. No boat lights, no relief for another 6 days. At 2:36, a reply landed. Sender, Mark Venn, date header, 2 weeks ago, this year. No one gets removed from Blackglass. That was the whole message. I checked the header twice. Same server, same account. The power dipped, once then again, long enough each time to show me the room in flat emergency white. On the second dip, water had crept under the radio room door. I opened it with the flare gun raised. The corridor itself was bone dry. The wet footprints started right at the base of the stair and climbed away from me in a single line, one barefoot after another, the pink gone dark as an old bruise. Then, from inside the center column, I heard it start climbing toward me. Slow. Hand, foot, hand, foot. I followed the sound up because there was nowhere else on this rock it couldn't also reach. Round and round the iron stair, one hand on the rail, flare gun in the other. It stayed exactly 1 turn below me the whole climb. When I hurried, it hurried. When I stopped to listen, it took one more deliberate step. Patient, unbothered, like it already knew how this ended. The lamp room glass was filmed with mist. The beam swept the black water and showed nothing at all. The hatch under the lens, dropping into the maintenance shaft, was still dogged shut from my side, exactly as I'd left it. The climbing was coming from directly beneath that hatch. I put my ear to the metal. Something was breathing under there. Not gasping, slow. A wet click in the throat between each pull of air. My phone buzzed once in my pocket. He is almost at your hands. The dogs on the hatch turned inward, one by one, like fingers working them loose from underneath. I'm still on the floor of the lamp room, Eli. The last one just moved. If you want to know whether I made it off this rock, subscribe. The next message, if there is one, goes up the moment I send it.